Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We are back again with more Solasta Crown of the Magister. This time I want to talk about the Lost Valley DLC. Tactical Adventures announced recently that this massive update will be available April 14th, and the details sound absolutely fantastic. Before we kick things off, I want to let you know there are chapters below. This DLC has several updates, so if I talk about something that doesn't interest you, by all means, skip to the next section. First, let's go through a quick recap for those of you who weren't able to play the game. Solasta is a fantasy CRPG that allows you to create a party of 4 characters and fight through a full campaign. While there are some aspects of the game that are original, overall, the mechanics closely follow the D&D 5th edition rule set. This shines through most clearly during combat, where how the game handles initiative, actions, reactions, and movements will all be familiar to people who have played D&D. I did a review for the game recently, and if you are interested, the link will be in the description below. I'll start with what excites me the most, and that's Lost Valley's entirely new campaign, which will take characters from level 1 to 12. This story takes place in the lands of Dominion, which are ruled with an iron fist by a tyrant named Arenitus. Your characters are seeking a new way to escape these lands, and there are multiple factions who can assist you in doing this. Which faction you join heavily impacts the playthrough, and Tactical Adventures hopes this will add a lot of replayability into the campaign. I am not sure if these factions are the same ones you could do favors for in the original campaign. The story will be non-linear and have multiple endings. Neither was true for Crown of the Magister, so I am really excited to see what improvements have been made in the storytelling. The Lost Valley DLC will add a subclass for all 9 currently available classes. I'll walk through the different subclasses and let you know which ones I plan to use for my first playthrough. The Commander is a fighter who can bolster their allies both offensively and defensively in the middle of combat. The Hoodlum is a rogue who relies on intimidation and brute force to get what they want. The Oath of Judgment is pledged by paladins who seek to purge corruption and deliver justice wherever they go. The Mischief Domain is granted to clerics of Marseille, who always seem blessed with good luck. The Court Mage is an elite wizard who is masterful at protecting others with arcane powers. The Swift Blade is a silent and deadly ranger whose purpose is to assassinate high-priority targets. I was underwhelmed by rangers in the base game. They paled in comparison to rogues who could really blow up enemies at ranged and up close with sneak attack damage. I am hoping this subclass evens things out and definitely plan to play it. The Haunted Soul is a sorcerer who has symbiotic relationships with malevolent spirits, granting them horrifying magic. Sorcerer was probably my favorite class in the original game, and while Haunted Soul sounds really awesome, it would be difficult to let go of Gold Draconic Bloodline. That being said, this subclass pairs perfectly with a Voldemort run-through, so I am going to try it. The write-up doesn't mention it, but I assume you need to download the free DLC that provides the Sorcerer class to have access to this subclass. The next 2 subclasses both require you to have purchased the Primal Calling DLC, which unlocks the Barbarian and Druid classes in the game. The Path of the Claw is a barbarian who possesses dragon-like abilities. What does that mean? No idea, but I'll be all over it when the DLC comes out. This is probably as close as I can get to being Dragonborn in the game. Finally, the Circle of Balance is for druids who are adept at both granting life and taking it away. In my original playthrough, a cleric handled all the healing, and frankly, they had the most powerful spell in the whole game. I am really curious about my main healer also doing great damage with shape-shifting, so hopefully this subclass won't disappoint. The DLC will also be paired with a huge free update that includes 4-player co-op support. First and foremost, huge kudos to Tactical Adventures for being able to pull this off. It's an update a lot of people requested, but I don't think any of us believed they would actually be able to implement it before a sequel. The co-op is only for online multiplayer, so there is no LAN mode, but you can play with friends all across the world. Multiplayer will be available on the official campaigns and custom campaigns created using the Dungeon Maker. It will not be available on custom dungeons, but a how-to guide will be released on how to convert dungeons into campaigns. Tactical Adventures did have a multiplayer beta test the weekend of March 17th, and most of the feedback I read was very positive. I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to check out the Twitch stream of the devs showing multiplayer. They use the Court Mage, Circle of Balance, Swift Blade, and Path of the Claw subclasses. In case you are curious, if you link with just one other person, the game can be set so both of you control two characters apiece while you are playing. Also, your access to DLC is determined by the host, meaning if the host hasn't purchased Primal Calling, then you won't be able to use a half-orc, barbarian, or druid while playing in their game. Also included in the update are some nice additions to Dungeon Maker mode. If you purchase the DLC, there are 4 new environments: jungles, swamps, Valley Palace, and Valley City. There are also new monsters, including giants, golems, and hags. The free update will also change what's available in several Dungeon Maker systems. A new quest system gives players specific objectives and rewards them with experience and items. A new dialogue system provides more personality by adding multi-choice dialogues with NPCs. Finally, a new loot table system allows dungeon makers to create their own loot tables for chests and monsters to control what players get. Overall, I think this update makes it very clear. Tactical Adventures is listening to player feedback and doing their best to provide people with what they want. The new campaign seems to address criticisms regarding Crown of the Magister by incorporating multiple endings along with replayability. Co-op is obviously a long requested feature. Classes are a strong point that will be even stronger with new subclasses to choose from. Dungeon makers should have a much easier time creating engaging campaigns for players looking for more content. I am very excited to dive into all the new content Lost Valley is going to provide this game. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like below, share this content, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.